Hello to everybody. It's nice to see so many faces without the Zoom frame. I must say, we were waiting for more than 2 years for that event. We were risking a lot because we were postponing it a little bit, just to grab an opportunity to meet face-to-face, to exchange, to learn from each other, as I know that the global education community is so good at it. Not only to learn from each other, but also to give that to all the others. So I will stop here. We are beginning the conference we called Global Citizenship Education, Addressing Inequalities and Conflicts. For obvious reasons, we are living, as the title of our keynote address is saying, we are living in unprecedented times. The things and the power relations in the world are changing thoroughly, and we have to think and learn about it as a community of practitioners, innovators in global education. So it is my pleasure now to say hello to Minister for Education of Slovenia, Dr. Kustec, to Head of Department for Development Cooperation and Humanitarian Aid, Dr. Kokal, to Rili Lapalainen from Concord Europe, and in so many roles in global education in Europe and globally. Among us, and Živa Kauka-Gobo, who is president of a board of Sloga platform, the Slovenian national platform and NGOs working in development, global education, and humanitarian aid. And I would like to invite you, Živa, first to say some introductory word, and welcome to the participants.
Nice to see people in front of you, not just the frames. It's something completely different. Maybe for those who Albin didn't mention, besides Minister Dr. Kustec and the Ambassador Kokal, we have Ambassador Namrata Kumar, we have members of diplomatic representations in Slovenia, we have our global education colleagues, we have our friends. So welcome to everybody and thank you for coming. We meet again after 2 years of postponing and waiting for the time to be possible to organize something live. Welcome also to the others who are probably following us online. It's an honor for me to greet you all in the name of Platform Sloga, who is really working in the field of global education, global citizenship education since the beginning. And it's really a strong point in the work, in the whole work. It permeates all the topics we are working on. This is a conference where we are going to be joined by different practitioners, theoreticians, policymakers, and actors in the field of global education. So it's really important that we meet together, we talk together, we discuss together, and we do it effectively. And at the end, we go out of here and take with us some learning points, but also some plans for implementation of different, be it policies, measures, projects, different ways. We are living in a very interesting times. We are hearing all the time that we are living in unprecedented times, that it's finally the crucial time, that now it's really the time to implement the global citizenship education measures, but actually it's not really like that because that happened already yesterday. It happened already the day before yesterday. We are saying that actually global citizenship education is not needed more than ever now, but it was needed also yesterday and the day before yesterday. Exactly because I think the global citizenship education is not so much embedded in our daily lives. Policies, institutions, things like the situations like today can happen because we are repeating ourselves from the historical moments we already know. But it is a crucial time, of course, since we are sitting together and we can reflect and see what's happening and ask ourselves what to do. Because we are facing now, what are these kind of global circumstances? We have climate change, luckily, we were used to say, okay, today's youth, they're always online. They don't do anything, but actually we can see that they are mobilizing again for the fight against climate change. We have a biodiversity loss, but we have also a lot of organizations trying to stop and lessen the loss we are facing. We are actually having the COVID epidemic, which never happened before, and we didn't know what to do, how to actually address this challenge. Somehow we do manage, and what we see that big changes are possible. We are facing the shrinking of civil space, but we see also a strong civil space being live and kicking, let's say. So, not to take too much time, because I think the most important parts are still to be coming. I would just say that today we have an opportunity that all the practitioners and those who are linked to global education come together. We have people from different parts of European Union, from UK, from Canada, from different countries. We have the audience on Facebook, on YouTube, on different internet channels. And we have also participants from around the world. So it is kind of a unique opportunity in a hybrid world where we can work together. So I would like to say that actually it's time to rethink, but we are rethinking already for some time, and I think this rethinking should become maybe doing something differently. So I wish you all great discussions, effective workshops, efficient networking, future collaboration, many projects, many implemented global citizenship education, maybe strategies on different levels, maybe national level. And we are very happy, not to forget to mention that we also are hosting Concord Global Citizenship Community Meeting, as actually we know that it's of crucial importance to network, to connect, to share ideas, but also to work together. So thank you very much, and I'll give the word to my next speaker, if I'm not mistaken, is Dr. Simona Kustec, so I'll welcome you on stage. Thank you very much.
Dear distinguished representatives and participants of today's meeting, it is really an honor to be able to address you shortly in the framework of your very, very important work that you are doing through the conference and through your everyday work. Speaking from the perspective of knowledge, education, speaking of the perspective of the society, of the civilization, of our norms, we are definitely living in times that are times at the crossroads. The times that are actually putting the mirror in front of us, in a sense that we are standing behind the historical challenges. And I do personally believe that the first right answer to them for the future is exactly knowledge and education, based on the values of respecting human dignity, human rights, solidarity, participation, of respecting peace and growth. And it was COVID, it is now war in Ukraine, that are showing us that we still have a lot of work to do. And that the first step in this regard should be in the houses of our schools and our homes. It is only knowledge that can save us. And therefore, it is so important that we do have firm and convincing educational systems that are equal to all, that are addressing exactly the two standpoints that you are emphasizing at your conference. Regardless of who we are, we should be equal according to our first opportunities. And we should do this through a peaceful and collaborative way. And it was already at the international level, when we are speaking from the educational point of view, that we have been facing this debate, this kind of messages for many years, actually for decades so far. It is the work made by UNESCO. It is the work made by Council of Europe, European Union, OECD, that is telling us exactly this. That is telling us that the education and the right topics, the right issues and approaches, how we are going to deliver them, are the ones that are representing the bright and in growth-oriented future. So, what to say? It is regardless of who we are, important that we are aware that we are here on the same ship, driving the way towards the best possible equal education, regardless where on the world we are. And that's this kind of a global momentum that is here and that we do need to understand. And it is going to be the reality that is going to speak either in favor or against what we are writing on the papers. And that's why it is so important, especially today, you as the practitioners, you as the people that are coming not from the political world, but from the non-governmental worlds, from experts' worlds, are going to tell also us, the politicians, how to be good in real life, how to implement all these big and undoubtedly important and clear and right messages and orientations and standpoints that you are addressing, that you are speaking in favor of for many, many times. Now we all need to collaborate in a way for global education in action. So this is my first and last appeal. Let us try to speak concretely. Let us try now to work on the basis of the words and knowledge that we already have on the paper. I wish you a very productive and successful today's meeting and the work in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Kustec, for those encouraging words. I think we all heard very well that we shall tell the politicians how to do good. And I think in the non-governmental side, especially in our community, there is a lot of ideas how to do that. So there is an ear needed on the recipient end also. Thank you for the words. And now I would like to invite Dr. Kokal from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who is our principal, I would say, principal global education partner in these matters, as you're also represented in GEAN as a European Global Education Network. So please, Dr. Kokal, the floor is yours.
Excellency, Madam Minister, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. First, allow me to extend my appreciation for the possibility to participate at today's event, which addresses the relevance of contemporary global issues concerning inequalities and conflicts. We have been facing unprecedented challenges in the past 2 years. Indeed, the impacts of pandemics have worsened our global realities, to which we need to respond resolutely. With the increase of armed conflicts accompanied by severe humanitarian crisis, the issues of poverty, uneven development, and environmental deterioration have sadly become more pressing than ever. With all these implications multiplied by the impact of sanctions on the global economy, commodity scarcity, and disruption of supply chains, the international community will need to act accordingly. So in this context, Slovenia is a strong advocate of effective multilateralism, the main goal of which is a functioning global system, respect for human rights and humanitarian principles, and the international humanitarian law, sustainable development, and the importance of Agenda 2030. In these globally changed circumstances, Slovenia acts in solidarity, which has also been reflected in the increase of our official development assistance. Nominally, we have allocated 97 million euro in 2021. With this, Slovenia has recorded growth of ODA from 0.17 of gross national income in 2020 to 0.19 of gross national income last year. Furthermore, Slovenia is currently devoting most of its humanitarian efforts into helping Ukraine. The reasons are obvious and go beyond imminent danger to our European security. We cannot afford out of sight, out of mind approach when it comes to other wars and conflicts happening around the world with the same dire humanitarian consequences. So apart from acting in solidarity, we need to continue with our efforts in the process of global education, which represent an important part of effective solutions to most demanding challenges. In this regard, it will be crucial to invest further in raising awareness of all relevant stakeholders locally, nationally, and internationally. By empowering them, we stand better chances in understanding, reflecting, and successfully resolving these challenges. With this being said, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a fruitful exchange of opinion and indeed a very successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokal, for the nice words. Yeah, we also, when we were adapting the program to the current situation, is to avoid the elephant in the room, so we can address issues of that matters today in our conference. With some coincidence, Really Lapalainen published, and we shared with all of you the 9 trends of 2022 on Concord webpage. The piece that tells us how we can see the world today and what are the challenges we are facing and that are going to stay with us. So really, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Albin, Madam Minister, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, here in the physical room, but also from the distances through the technology, which really allows us to come together quite easily nowadays. Still remembering that majority of the people in the world don't really have the access for the internet, which is not very equal. That's one of the points what I mentioned on those 9 trends, what I wrote. And honestly, that was some kind of summary, because I felt very strongly talking with the colleagues all over the world, especially for those who are not really in the access of the internet. I need to be some kind of channel to spread their messages for the rest of the community, because I have the access, and I need to use my power in that way to really tell the stories that how exactly the reality shows. Not in Europe, unfortunately, we have this current crisis here, but I think that especially we need to make effort on that we are really telling the stories how exactly majority of the people in the planet are living at the moment. And I think that's really is one of the key messages, that we who has the power, we have to use it in the right way. We unfortunately have very, very bad example quite now happening in very close to this place where we are at the moment, that how the power is really used in the wrong purpose. And I think that it's really, really one spot in the history at the moment that definitely no one of us can't really know that where we go. But I think that this is more than ever, like many have said already, that the role of the education is really crucial. It's really, really important. And I would like to quote Nelson Mandela, who has used this kind of phrase that education is the most powerful weapon in the world. And now I think that this sentence really, it's really today's message, what we definitely need to think about, that how we are using the education in the right direction, in the right purpose. It could be manipulated, how we know, as well, that has happened, or you can write the history in your format of the history. But I think it's really, really important to really, really going back to the values, like Minister said, that really respecting every single human being in this planet, and take account that how could we serve so that those who are the poorest of the poorest has been taking account, and we are really living in harmony in this planet. I think that that's really is the fundamentally important place where we are. The education as such, I think that it's important to underline this as well, that definitely we need to know how to read and write and count. That's the basis. Without that, we can't really survive, or at least the life is quite difficult. But how could we really take the other aspect of the education, where definitely the global citizenship education, education for sustainable development, all the value-based educations really come to the picture. That we need to have the holistic educational coming point, and then really using all the aspects. So how we behave vis-a-vis on our neighbor, how we are exactly having the dialogue, not shouting and killing the other's arguments, but how we are really, through the dialogue, we are finding the sometimes poor consensus, but I think that's even better than the totally criminalized situation. So I think that it's, in the end, it's how we are behaving vis-a-vis for the human beings, but also with the nature. I think that we definitely need to really understand that the role of the nature is really totally undermined so far, but we definitely need to do everything that we can really survive in this planet, and then we need to take about the environmental aspect much more seriously and respect the nature, like we are respecting the human rights and every human being in this planet. And that's why I'm more than thankful for Sloga organizing this event, because I think that we all, like several colleagues mentioned already, that we are so tired about having the bubbles in the Zoom. I think that we need to have this dialogue between the individuals. We need to come together. We need to empower ourselves so that we can be the multipliers wherever we are acting, taking our roles, and really make the change happening on there. So this is really they're like the pyramid, and then we need to definitely work together. We need to work both in the structures, in so-called system, how we have organized the human beings living in this planet. We need to really challenge that. It's not really healthy. It's not the right one. It's not equal at the moment. We need to challenge that. But at the same time, we need to do the decisions in every second in our life. So in that way, I think that some of the Ukrainians has really made it in very nice, that they are really living that minute what is going on at the moment. So use every single opportunity which is coming to you, and use that in the best way. And I think that we all need to learn from that. How could I serve about this planet and my dear peers at the moment, how I can use my resources, what I'm having, in the best possible way. And I think that in parallel, if we are working in the structures and as individuals, we can really make the change. And I'm sure that these 2 days, what we are kindly hosted by Sloga, I think we can really use the time in a meaningful way, where we can even power, we can charge our batteries, and then we are even more capable to really make the change wherever we are. And that's work is quite a long way to go, but still I think that we'd have to believe that we can really make the change and we can really challenge each of us. And I really would like to see this situation, this old metaphor that some of the people are seeing that the glass is full empty or the half full. And I think that I'm more optimistic and really believing that when we come together, when we are using our brains in a good way, thanks for our different kind of educations, we can also find the solutions how to move on. And then with these words, I'm already thanking Sloga and other institutions behind on organizing that. And I really would like to wish us very fruitful 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you really for inspiring words. Now we will move to the second part. I think that we also heard the message. I know that Minister has to leave for urgent matters, so thank you very much for your address and wishing us good work. And as I wish you good work with all what the today educational system in Slovenia is facing. So have a nice day. Thank you. So we have to say something about the donors. So it's today and tomorrow and after tomorrow with some spin-off meetings and networking that we are going to do tomorrow, and today panel discussions and workshops that are going to happen that will enable us to share, to learn from each other, to how to face these unprecedented times. It was enabled by the EU presidency project that was planned so many years ago already. And I remember meetings in Concord in 2017 and then in 2018. And when everything was in place, COVID came, everything dissolved. So we planned again, and then there was an open fire, and we have to replan everything. So I'm so glad that we were. Also, it was very tricky because the project as such is running out at the end of this month, that we were able to, because that was something that we planned from the beginning, to have a global education conference in Ljubljana in time of Slovenian presidency. But we played some kind of a chess with the risk that, but we won, so that we were gathering all of you here today. And I noticed the excitement among yourselves and meeting with us after 2 years. This is kind of a magic phrase these days. After 2 years, we are meeting in flesh and blood. And this was enabled, of course, also by the project that is supported by European Union and co-financed by Slovenian Ministry of Foreign Affairs through development aid funding, and Slovenian Public Administration Ministry that has a general support for NGO activities. So we are grateful for that, that they recognized the importance of that process and that they funding our steps.